Yankees absolutely go ham today. 9 home runs in a game that I didn't even think they were going to be able to get it in because the game was delayed like 2 hours for rain and whatnot. But immediately in the first inning, the bats are up. Back to back to back home runs by Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and yours truly, Giancarlo Stanton. What a night, man. What a night. I think I have that.
High fly ball, deep center field. Pereira back, on the track, at the wall. See ya! A long home run, high off the batter's eye. 40 for Judge and a 1-0 Yankee lead. That was some blast. High drive, right field, Mangum back, turning, looking, see ya! The Yankees go back-to-back. A home run for Bellinger, it's 2-0 Bombers.
Shane Baz has really been scuffling lately, and he has been susceptible to the home run.
Have lower body soreness after playing 3 games in a row and right. High drive, right center field, Mangum back, track, wall, see ya! The Yankees go back to back, and they lead 3-0.
I tell you what, the bats have been looking good lately. They've been looking good. Yes, Danny boy, they winning, which is a good thing. And I get it. These are teams that we're supposed to win anyway, right? The real test is coming up in a few days versus Boston. But I mean, these wins are huge because at least we start building some momentum. Some of these guys at the plate start finding it. And that way, when in a couple days when we do face Boston, maybe, man, we could at least take the series. It's a 4-game set versus them. I'm hoping we need 3 out of 4 minimum. 3 out of 4. At the very minimum, split the series. But look, it was a great game offensively overall. Great game. An ugly day, honestly, an ugly day, but great overall. Like I said, I'm trying to see here. Rodon gave us 6 innings, which is always good. Let me switch this over here. Rodon pitched 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, only 2 walks, which was not bad, 5 strikeouts. Considering the long rain delay and just the ugly, muggy night that it seemed like it was over there in Florida, he pitched good, and that we need him to get it going. We really do. We need him and Free to get it going. After that, Mark Leiter Jr. came in, pitched the inning, didn't give up anything, so that's good. Yerry De Los Santos came in, did give up a run, but at that point it was like whatever, man. We were up 12-2, and then Tim Hill came in and gave us an inning as well. So overall, a great night. I mean, obviously, most of it was done with the home run ball. But when you have multiple players hitting multiple home runs in your lineup, who we had? Caballero hit 2. Cody Bellinger hit 2. Giancarlo Stanton hit 2. I'll take that any day. I will. I'll take that any day. So hopefully we could build on this. And because tomorrow we're gonna face a decent pitcher, Rasmussen, whatever his name. I can't even say his name right, but he's pretty good. So if we could get to him and hit him hard going into that Boston series, I think I'm feeling good about this team right now. I really am. Especially if we could take this series 3 out of 4 versus Boston. I know people saying like we got to split it. I don't even want to split it. I want 3 out of 4 versus Boston, just to ensure that we're ahead of them in the wild card standing, and at that point, I think we have a decent chance at catching the Blue Jays. I know it seems far fetched. We're 5 games behind. We're 5 games behind, and technically it's really 6 because if it came down to a tiebreaker, they would take the division because they won more games. But looking at it right now, yep, we're 5 games behind the Blue Jays. I think they're gonna play the Brewers here coming up soon. So we already know the Brewers They find a way to win. So look, it's gonna start getting heat. It's gonna start getting real heated. I'm telling you, especially if we could take this series. Look, guys, and put this away. If we could get 3 out of 4, hopefully we win tomorrow, right? Let's complete the 2-game sweep. If we could take 3 out of 4 versus Boston, I'm telling you right now, it's a race again, division race, because we have 3 games coming up in September versus the Blue Jays. And at that point, like you know, first place is back on at that point. And that's what I really want. I want the Yankees to be able to take the division. But let's take a look at the schedule. This is August. Let me put this away here. What is this thing here? All right, so obviously after tomorrow, we face Boston for 4 games, then Washington for 3, the White Sox for another 4. So I'm expecting the Yankees to really, really beat up on Washington and the White Sox and take the series versus Boston. If we can do that, then we're in really good shape. Really, really good shape because, hold on, let me see. What's the schedule here? Yeah, because after that, you know, the first 2 weeks of September are going to be tough. But besides that, it's smooth sailing all the way to the end. So let's see if the Yankees can actually pull it off. And you know, I've been down on this team. I'm not going to lie. I've been really down on this team. And I'll get to the chat in a second. But I want to say this, right? When you think about it, all things considered, like this team is really still in it. They're still in. Yeah, they played terrible for a few months there. And they looked really, really bad. But for some reason, I have a feeling lately, right? And I get it, versus the Twins, you can't really say that this team has turned the corner, or versus the Cardinals, or even Tampa Bay. But it feels a little bit different for some reason lately, especially the offense. I feel like the offense is finally starting to figure it out a little bit, you know? I see the Yankees, they're way more aggressive on the base paths. They're taking, you know, they're taking extra bases. You know what I mean? Getting extra 90 feet whenever they can. The defense, it's not perfect, but it has looked better. It has looked better. Now we just need the pitching to really, really to turn it on. The pitching really has to turn it on. We need Max Fried to figure it out. Whatever the hell he's got going on, he needs to figure that out like ASAP. And the bullpen with Devin Williams and Duvall, especially Duvall. Devin Williams, you know, he's going to have to work his way up again. But if they could figure it out, or even just do at least somewhat better than what they've been doing, because David Bednar's been pretty much lights out. He's been pretty good. And I like our chances. I really do. I think this team, on paper, when you look at all the names, the talent, if they play to their baseball card, we could really make a push, man. We could really make a push. But let me say what's up to the chat. My guy Danny Boy's in the building. Says Yankees, baby, let's go. Jacob, what's up, man? Ken, what's up, Ken? Jose G, we rocking. Yeah, they was rocking today, for real. Straight rocking. Hold on, let me listen to Giancarlo here for a second.
I got next here.
I gotta do it again. More like late and often. It's midnight right now, 12:30. So it's awesome to see. I think we hit 9 tonight.
9
incredible
home
across
runs.
the board.
You hit your second one in the fourth inning, a 3-run shot. You mentioned the 9 total. What was it about the approach tonight that allowed you to exploit that Rays pitching?
Why is Giancarlo Stanton looking like a Lala Boo Boo, whatever that thing's called, La Boo Boo?
It didn't happen, so we had to take it out on them a little bit, but
With
just
that
make sure we're
beard like
focused.
that.
And
Anyway, José Caballero should be starting over Volpe. He looks lost up there. Yeah, Volpe does not look good at the plate. He was swinging a lot of high stuff, swinging misses. Like Volpe's gonna be in there unless he like really just starts making errors again, like he was earlier in the season. He's gonna be playing there. But I will say this: Caballero. The other day they started him on Sunday, right? I don't know if it was a sign or anything, but they have another option. Before they didn't have really an option. They just had Peraza and which is not really not a better option at all. This time they got Caballero there, so I'm sure that he's feeling it. He knows that if he doesn't play well, especially down the stretch, then they have his replacement right there, at least temporarily. They do. Boston sucks right now. Yeah, did they win today? Or did they even play? All right. Itchy Nuts, man, was crunching the numbers for fun. Stanton has 7 less home runs than Vladimir Guerrero, and Vlad has played 79 more games. Yeah, Vlad, man, he got that $500 million contract. And, if you ask a Blue Jays fan, I'm sure most of them are happy with it. Has he lived up to it? I don't know. I don't follow them that much. It's not all about home runs either. But somebody pull up his stats if you can in the chat. Yeah, I'm not comparing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to Giancarlo Stanton. Jason, don't get lulled into a false sense of security. I'm not, but I do feel like I'm trusting my gut here. My gut is telling me that this team, especially offensively, I'm not gonna say they figured it out, but they figured something out. They're onto something. They're playing it different. They're being more aggressive. I would like to see more rallies instead of just home run. But they kind of did that too in the Cardinals series. There was a lot of rallies, not a lot of home runs hit in that series. I think it was like 3 in the whole 3 or 4, the whole entire 3-game series versus the Cardinals. And they managed to score a lot of runs. Granted, the Cardinals did make a lot of errors and they helped us a little bit, but I think this team, I don't want to jump the gun yet, but I think that they're figuring it out, And now if we could get the bullpen going and get our starters going, I like our chances, right? Is it a foolproof thing? 100% no, but I feel much better now than I did 3 weeks ago. I'll put it that way. I didn't even know somebody had the mask on. Make sure you like the video if you haven't. 23 people in here. Only 9 likes. Come on, guys. We could do better. Jake says he still doesn't have faith in him. I don't know what it is, but I just don't. No, I feel you. They haven't showed us anything to have faith. I'm just going off my gut feeling, and I feel a lot better about this team today than I did 3 weeks ago. And I've been feeling like this even yesterday, now that the season's winding down, right? Now that the season's winding down and you take a look at the schedule, really we have about 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks after this Boston series, the first 2 weeks of September is really going to make or break this team. But if we could get out of there somehow playing above with a winning record out of those first 2 weeks, we're going to face Houston for 3, Toronto for 3, and then Boston for another 3. And I can't remember the rest, right? I'm telling you, man, this team look, they have a better shot than I originally anticipated. Because a few weeks ago, I felt like it was over, right? A few weeks ago, I was like, I pretty much, without saying it, it's like this season's over. And now when you think about it, there's still a chance, a decent chance too at that. Caballero joins the Yanks and suddenly becomes a power hitter. He was hitting wall scrapers though. 234 batters hit 5 homers. Drafting Volpe ahead of Gunnar Henderson probably costing Yankees a title or 2. Imagine him as shortstop right now. What a massive miss by Yankee brass. I mean, yeah, man. Don't even, if you go down that rabbit hole, Itchy Nuts, man, you'll be depressed. Look, at the time, why they did it and everything, who knows, right? But sometimes players develop differently, right? Maybe when they drafted Volpe, he was better at the time than Gunnar Henderson. But going up through the system, we know that the Orioles, they not only do they draft well, but they develop players very well. They do. Look, Gunnar Henderson ain't putting up too much great numbers right now either. I'm gonna pull up his numbers right now. Last time I checked, I mean, he wasn't. Oh yeah, he's doing way better. He's picked the average up. Yeah, that is what it is, man. What are you gonna do? No point of like comparisons. The killer of all joy, guys. Don't even do it. Roy, what's up, Roy? What's up? Hey, Katie. Stephen B, what's up, brother? Welcome, my guy. How you enjoying that light? Volpe throwing to chest every time now. Yeah, at least he's figured that out. At least he's figured that out. Celia says, it's very tough to have faith in the team. I'm going to wait till after the Red Sox series to see how I feel. Yeah, you know what? That Red Sox series is make or break, but I'm feeling good. I feel like if we can, the way we've been rolling right now, it's kind of starting to build up a little bit of momentum. Tomorrow, there's a big test, versus Rasmussen. If we can hit him, if we could continue this offensive surge going into the Red Sox series at Yankee Stadium, I think we're gonna be all right. Garrett Crochet, last time I checked, he hasn't really been lights out as of late himself. But with that being said, we need our ace to be ace-like. We really do, especially in a big series like that. And we need the kids to step up. Schlittler, Warren, the Red Sox are a young team, so we need our young. It's going to be youth versus youth. We need our young pitchers, our young guys, to go up against them and shut them down. Well, actually, no, Schlittler's not going to pitch versus them. Yeah, well, he might get a. No, he's not going to get a start versus them. Very happy with this victory for the Yankees. Yeah, me too. I'm trying to be optimistic. And I know soon I'm gonna read Sunil's comment right now. I know he's gonna shit on my optimism. Here are the facts, Jason. New York Yankees head-to-head versus Boston have a 1-5 record with 7 games head-to-head remaining. To capture the tiebreaker, we need to, at minimum, win 6 or 7 of the remaining games to conquer. Are you talking about with Boston? I'm not even worried about that because the only tiebreaker I'm worried about is with the Blue Jays. That's the only one I really worry. At that point, we tiebreaker for what? The first wildcard spot, the second wildcard spot. At that point, is like, it is what it is. The one with the Blue Jays worries me because if we were to catch up and to end the season in a tie, they still take they take the division, and rightfully so. Yardy coming up and Hendricks going down. Yep, and that's the right move. And we need Yarbrough coming up. We need him. And when Fernando Cruz comes too, hopefully he can be what he was in the beginning of the season. Oh, excuse me, because we're gonna need everything we can get. Hold on, let's listen to Boone real quick.
Yeah, impressive. Judgy just absolutely kills one to center, and obviously Belly and Giancarlo follow it right up. So great swings right out the gate to give us a little bit of a lead there, and then Carlos, going out on a just, 6 innings, especially after he started getting loose for the game. So that wasn't really ideal, and you're like, oh, what does that all mean? Now you're waiting around a couple hours, but really good job by him of kind of just, staying in the moment, channeling his mind right, and, a big 6 innings for us.
Gave up just 2 runs over those 6. What was standing out for you about the way he was throwing the ball and he was attacking race hitters?
Yeah, I thought actually it was a little bit of a grind for him, especially early there. A lot of pitches through the first few, so for him to end up going 6 was good. I thought he settled in pretty nicely there, especially once he got the lead. I thought he had a little bit of everything going. Was spinning the ball well. Fastball.
Is that Meredith's arms there?
But
she's looking
also
kind of
grinding through it, especially in the early innings.
Found out she been.
Did he roll his ankle at one
lifting
point?
weights.
No, he was slipping. Yeah.
That's the second time this season you guys have hit 9 home runs.
We hit 9?
Yeah.
When As someone who's been around the sport as long as you have, just how do you wrap your head around not only happened to you once, but twice in one season?
Wow. Yeah. I was part of the one with the Reds, and that, to do it twice, that's remarkable. That's and there were some ones that were seriously hit too. So just a really impressive offensive showing against a team that obviously is not always easy to score runs against.
I was going to ask you, 10's the record if you guys were going to go for it, but I guess you didn't even know it was 9.
Yeah, I had already taken Giancarlo out, so. No, look.
I feel like he knew it was
obviously,
9.
especially out of an off day, coming off a good series, and you have the rain delay to go out and put up a big performance was really good.
Aaron, what's the feeling like while you're watching that and guy after guy just hit it out of the ballpark?
Whatever, man. He's not giving us pretty much of anything. But yeah, I mean, I guess it's a good time to talk about the buzz all day, right? Boone went on a few podcasts. He went on John Boy's Talking Yanks, and then he was also on WFAN, and he has said that Aaron Judge, most likely for the rest of the season, he would not be, if he returns to right field again, he's not gonna be throwing 100%. If he even gets back there or something like that. Pretty much he was saying that Judge is, he's not really going to be able to throw like that. He's going to have to, they're trying to figure if they can even bring him out there, with him still being able to protect himself, protect his arm, right? And then, so the buzz was, oh man, a lot of people was even saying, man, Judge is going to need surgery, Judge this and that. Look, I was like, okay, well, we kind of knew that, right? This dude, he has a freaking form flexor strain or whatever, which is a lot of times the precursor to Tommy John. I already knew my whole thing. Like, I'm okay with Judge not playing right field. I'm okay with Stanton being in right field for the time being. It's not ideal, right? But I'd rather do that than risk Judge really getting hurt and being out for all of 2026. So, with that being said, they asked Judge, they say, hey, Boone said you can't, you might not even be playing right field at all this year and all this other stuff. And you can't throw. And Judge's response was, and I'm paraphrasing, he was like, well, Boone hasn't seen me throw in like 2 weeks, so I don't even know why he said that, because I feel fine. I think I'm going to be able to come back and all this other stuff. And I don't want to make a big deal out of it because it could just be a nothing burger. But when your manager and your star player, especially like that, with an injury that big with Judge, when you're not even on the same page, and he's like, he hasn't even seen me throw in 2 weeks. I feel like, and Boone says too, he was waiting for the trainers and the doctors to give him more information and everything. I feel like that communication is broken somewhere. Like, they need to be on the same page. Like, he should know, okay, whatever, especially how Judge feels, because Judge apparently feels like he's good, like he's coming back. And that could be true, right? It could be true. And also it could be sometimes as players, sometimes they need to be saved from themselves. I don't know which one it is, right? But and like Boone has said a lot of things that's crazy to me. But I feel like Boone said that for a reason. He kind of walked it back afterward, but I feel like he said that for a reason. He said that because a trainer, a doctor, or somebody told him something, and Judge might want to be stubborn and doesn't probably want to believe it. But it's going to be interesting. Me personally, I say just keep him out of right field. Why risk it? The only time I'm risking that is in the playoffs. If we get to the playoffs and you absolutely have to do it, then we do it. But why risk it right now? Really, why risk it? That's my stance on that. I don't know how you guys feel. You guys got me looking old, man. See, they said Itchy, I do American League is weaker, so I think a lot of teams have a chance. But that's exactly it. I just need to see them winning against good teams. Yeah, I think it's coming, though. I think it's coming. You know, the Red Sox are not really that good. They had a good stretch of baseball. They played very well, a good stretch. But really, the Yankees should be able to handle. I think the Yankees are going to handle them this series coming up. Where we at here? Walker says, been lighting up the light, feels good. Gut feeling is also better now. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I have a feeling that this team is, like, I'm not saying they are going to be 100%.
You're the real MVP.
Appreciate it, Jose. Jose G with the $5 donation. Appreciate you, brother, man. Thank you. I just want our team to make the postseason and shock the world. Let's go, Yankees. Man, I'm. You know what's crazy, Jose? That's the one thing, and the one thing that keeps me like gives me hope is that when I look at these players, right? When I look at this team, we got players, dude. They're talented. Like, if they could all just start clicking at the same time, just think we have Cody Bellinger, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge. So 3 former MVPs. Paul Goldschmidt, granted he's a little older, but we saw what he was doing in the beginning of the season. So there's still something there. Max Fried, Carlos Rodon. Then we got guys like Ben Rice who stepped up. Trent Grisham, who's been huge for us. The talent is there. The talent is definitely there. Now we just need them to figure it out and get it together. And also we need Boone to not make mistakes. And even in the bullpen, we got David Bednar, Devin Williams. Granted, he's pitched terribly, right? But I'm talking about just the name itself. Like, these guys should be better than this. This team should be a lot better than this. And that gives me hope. That gives me hope, Jose. That if just imagine if this team was to get it, if this team was to click all at the same time, like if they just start firing at all cylinders, right? We've seen what the offense could do at times, putting up crazy runs, 9 home runs today. We've seen what the pitching could do at times during the year. So if we can get this going, it's gonna be crazy. Wes Niles, appreciate the 2, my guy. Says Caballero and other pickups are finally working. Yeah, Caballero, I knew, look, that first game in Miami after the deadline, that was just, man, that was just like we were cursed, right? I think it was just bound to happen just to kind of humble the team and everything. But Caballero, he's been really good. Besides that big error that he made that first game, I love to do on the base pass, man. He's a beast on the bases. He makes the other team, he distracts the other team, and they have to start focusing on him. And I feel like ever since he joined, everybody else is running now. Like, everybody's like, you got Jazz stealing bases. For the first time in a long time, this team we're a speed threat. Like, we have guys that could steal bags and could run bases. So that's a breath of fresh air because for a long time this team, it seemed like we couldn't steal bags, we couldn't do anything on the base paths. So Caballero's pretty good. I like him, and I'll be honest, Volpe needs to, now more than ever, he needs to step up because he has somebody who's more than capable of replacing him right there. Before, we didn't have that. We had Yorbe Vivas and Peraza. Nothing against them, but it was like, okay, no matter how bad Volpe was doing, they're not an upgrade. So hopefully he turns it around, man. I'm rooting for Volpe. I really am. Itchy Nuts. Boone has a chance to get eliminated in playoffs 3 times by either Boston or Houston. Crazy stuff. Man, I'm trying to be positive. Itchy Nuts, man. Chris the Flash, my brother Chris, what's going on, baby? There's a war going on outside. No man is safe from. Katie says, how's my dog? She's right there sleeping. She's tired. She's waiting for me. She's not gonna go to sleep. She's not gonna go to the room unless I go with her. So Jason O says Stanton is so clutch. The guy shows up every October. He deserves a ring, man. Yeah, he does. And he's playing out of his mind right now. He's playing out of his mind. He's back to old Stanton. 2 home runs and everything. TC Steele's my guy. To keep up the positive vibes. I'm trying, man. You got to. I'm trying to be positive. If not, then what's the point, right? You know, look, I say it like this, right? At least we have a chance. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get it twisted, right? This team should be doing way better than this. We should be in first. It's not the best situation, but there is still hope. That's all I'm saying. There is still hope. Now, just imagine being, I don't know, a fan of the Washington Nationals or a matter of fact, imagine being an Orioles fan right now. And nothing against them, but just imagine being an Orioles fan. Coming into the season, you were favored to win the division. And you made it to the playoffs last year, and look at where you're at now, you know? Just imagine being a fan of that, where there is no hope. There is no chance you're making it. I don't know, man. I think the Yankees could pull something off. They could. It's going to be tough, but they can do it. Jason says, I think Free needs to be put on the IL for a little. I agree, or maybe not the IL, but at least just give him a start off. Especially with Yarbrough coming back. Maybe you give Yarbrough his start and just give him a start off. That gives you like 10 days, a good 2 weeks of just rest. Sometimes that's all it takes, right? According to Boone, what Boone said earlier was it's nothing physical or anything like that. It's just he's just got to find it. Like he's not feeling the his release point is off, and he's just not feeling his pitches very well. And that's what Boone said. It's not a injury thing. It's not a blister thing. It's none of that. It's just Max Fried trying to find it. So I'm assuming he's not hurt, but even then, maybe just give him a start off. Let's give him a start off. Especially, well, I want him pitching versus the Red Sox, so maybe not them, but versus a weaker team. We're about to start facing some weaker teams here after this Red Sox series. I say you give him the start off. TC, Jake Bird, and AC Slater with duds. Bro. AC Slater. TC Steels, man. You got to be an old guy. I think most people that watch my channel, we're a little old. You don't say by the bell. Yeah, man. Jake Bird, it sucks, man. I feel bad for the guy because if he was on the Rockies, he'd still be in the major leagues. But as soon as he got traded, man, and gave up a few bombs, man, they sent his ass back down. Jake Bird, I hope that he can figure it out down there because he does have a nasty slider when it's not hanging, right? Because his slider could do two things, right? I'm talking about Jake Bird here. His slider could be filthy and have like freaking literally like 18 inches of horizontal freaking movement. Or it could just be a cement mixer and not do anything, just spin right there in the zone. And I feel for the guy. I think where he messed up, where Jake Bird messed up is he shaved. He should have never shaved. So I hope, Jake Bird, I hope you're down there in Scranton growing that beard, right? And working on your pitches, man. That way you can make your way back up here. Because I had a lot of hope for him. He's one of the guys that I was excited about when they traded for him, but it didn't work out. AC Slater, Austin Slater, that dude, I feel like I've seen him like twice. Like, who is this guy? He's going to be another Scott Efros. He's going to, another trade that just the dude immediately gets hurt and we won't see him for another 3-4 years. Hopefully not, though. His spin rate on his pitches are all off. Yeah, I know. His spin rate is, but that a lot of times when your spin rate is off, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're hurt. You understand what I mean? It doesn't mean that. It could mean that, but if he's saying he's fine and they saying he's fine, again, take that with a grain of salt because the Yankees have blown smoke up our asses so many times. But it could be a lot of things. It could be just he's not feeling the pitch off his fin, his release point. Pitching is weird. I'm not gonna act like because I'm not a pitcher, but let me grab a baseball here. Pitching is spin rate and all that stuff, man. It sometimes it's simply just how the ball's coming off your fingers, how much pressure you putting on which finger, and which one is coming off, how you gripping it. It's so many things, man. I think he just needs to take a start off, get behind, get in the lab, right? What's it called, with a freaking TrackMan, and figure it out. Figure out what the hell are you doing wrong. It could be anything. That's just pitching is weird like that. Sometimes you just lose the feel of the ball. Literally, you lose the feel of the ball coming off your fingers, and it changes everything. I'm not saying that's the case, but I don't look. They telling me he's not hurt, so I'm gonna assume he's not hurt. I think if he was hurt or something was wrong, they would have put him on the IL. I think they would have, because he's just too important to risk like that. TC says the bench is a lot better for sure. Yeah, it is. It is a lot better. It really is. Like, we actually have guys to come off the bench that can do damage. Almer Rosario is a big threat, especially versus lefties. He's a guy that I want to see more of him too. He hasn't really got. I think he was on the. Did they put him on the IL or was he hurt or something? I don't know, but I think this team. Look, the team is better for sure. The team is better than we were a few weeks ago. They just got to put it together. They got to start freaking. They got to kick it into another gear and get their shit together, literally, because there's too much talent on this team to be losing to bullshit teams. All right. Bam, what's up, Bam Bam? Austin Cruz says, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Stan is demolishing everything. Yeah. Free spin rate is down on every single one of his pitches. He needs to freaking get it together against Boston. It could be the blisters too, but look, they're saying that nothing's wrong with him. I feel like if something was really wrong with him at this point, because it's not been one start, two starts, it's been a bunch of since the All-Star break. I think they would have sat him down. They would have done something. So I think it's just he's just got to figure it out. You got to get the feel of it back. He's got to get the feel. And spin rate is important, right? I'm not gonna say it's not important. It is, but I don't care how well you spinning the ball. If you put it in the wrong spot, it's gonna get hit. Sunil says it's a fair comparison to make between 2009. Oh my God, Jerry Hairston Jr. Oh my God, and Jose Caballero current year as stimulus players for this roster. Oh man, Jose Caballero is a faster version of Luis Sojo. He's a faster, skinnier, younger version than Luis Sojo. Luis Sojo looked like, I don't know, he always looked old to me, but he was nice. Like he looked like one of them dudes that shouldn't be this good at baseball. And he was though. Luis Sojo was a beast, man. That dude was reliable. Roy, what's up, Roy? I think some of it too is the umpires are really crappy on calls. Look at tonight's calling. There was a lot of bad ones. Oh, it's been like that every single day. Every single day. The other day they had a female, and this is not a knock to anything. I'm just, they had a female umpire calling calling balls and strikes behind the plate for the first time ever in Major League history. And the first pitch history, right? The first pitch, she blew the call. It was way inside, and she called it a strike. That thing had to be, a good 8 inches off the plate, and she called it a strike. And, that's just, Empires have gotten really bad. They need to bring in the ABS system ASAP. We'll see. We'll see what they bring it in. Next year it should be here permanently. And even then, he's still gonna have bad calls. Players you only have three challenges. So there's a strategy to it. I like adding that to the game. It's gonna make it interesting, but at the same time, you can't just challenge everything, right? You can't challenge everything. I wish they just, you know what? They should just keep the ABS instead of every ball and strike should be done by the computer. Literally. Every ball and strike. That way there's no missed calls. There's no, anything. Don't leave nothing up for chance. Cruz should be back soon. No room for Birdman. Birdman. I forgot about Austin Slater's existence. Austin Cruz, man. That's your guy. Ken says, bring out the morale suppression team. Fire the concession stand employees, analytics staff. Oh no, everybody still needs to get fired. Don't get it twisted, Ken. Everybody still gotta go. Boone included. Everybody gotta go. But they're not going right now. So I'm hoping we can somehow find a way to win the damn World Series. But everybody must go. Everybody must go. Sheila says, I just realized Jonathan Lasagna is supposed to come back. I know they will probably send down Hedrick and De Los Santos for Cruz and Yarborough. But who do you send down for Jonathan Loaizaga? They'll figure something out. You know what? Mark Leiter Jr., he looked better today, but he's a guy that's been kind of iffy. Somebody will go on the Phantom IL. They'll figure out a way. It always works itself out, right? They say that, but and if it doesn't, they'll make it work itself out. Jonathan Loaizaga, I'm done with them. I don't want him to come back. But you're right. I feel like they're gonna bring him back and give him another shot, and he's gonna blow it, and then they just DFA him. At that point, just DFA him. There's no point of keeping him unless he comes back and he's pitching like old Jonathan Loaizaga, like 2021, 2022 Jonathan Loaizaga. But I don't have faith that he is gonna do that. Ken says, nothing wrong with Fried. Blake is adjusting his finger position on the ball. They are trying to mitigate his blister issue. I mean, yeah, it could be whatever it is, you know. They're probably trying to prevent him from getting more blisters. I don't know what it is. He got to get it together, though. That's all I care about, man. He got to get it together. They got to be the good teams. Yeah, we're going to start facing him, though. We're going to start facing him. I have faith in my team, right? Not a lot, but there's faith there. There's faith. You know what they say? Faith the size of a mustard seed can go a long way, right? So that's what I got. I got a mustard seed of faith, and I'm holding on to it. And I'm not going to let nobody ruin that for me. We going to the playoffs, baby. We going. TC says Wells is the worst player on the roster. Bring up the righty catcher. I'm done with TC, man. I don't know if you listen to me. I've been done with Wells. I'm beyond done with him. To be honest, I don't even. And I hate to I don't want to be so cruel and everything to the guy and everything, but he's miserable. Like every time he comes to the play, I have no faith in him being able to do anything. I don't even want to see him no more. Like, there's no point. And he does. It's not like he's if he was a great catcher, right? Like a lights out defender, and he's gunning dudes out like Pudge Rodriguez, I'd be happy with him, right? But he don't do nothing right, and he can't hit for nothing. He's too easy to get out. Just throw him a high fastball above 94 miles per hour, and he won't be able to hit it. He just can't. He can't. I don't know what it is. Wells is the biggest disappointment this year, in my opinion. Yeah, he is. And then to make matters worse, it seems like every time we play, another team that we traded a catcher to, that catcher that we traded instead of holding on to Wells freaking just demolishes us. Augustin Ramirez, freaking Narvaez with Boston. And I'm just like, damn, dude, like, how the hell did we trade these guys and kept this dude? You know? But it is what it is. What are you going to do? We got Ben Rice at least, and I want to see him playing more. Yeah, Rosario's on the 10-day IL. He should be coming off, though, soon, right? Ace is in the building. Oh, man, Ace. Hold on. I don't got it. Cat Mama, what's up? How did you say? It went good, but I have another surgery on Tuesday. So they're going to take this stent out, blast those kidney stones away, and then put in another urethral stent or whatever it's called. And then I got to stay with that for another week. And then finally, I'll be done with this nightmare episode. Yeah, Rosario played tonight. That's what I'm saying. He's off the IL. Narvaez move hurts because he's on Boston. Yeah, it does. The young catcher the Orioles has is good. Who are you talking about? Adley Rutschman? I don't think he played good this year, though. Let me see. Wilkins says any game without Wells is great. I feel bad for Wells, too, but, you know, some of these guys, man, I think some of these guys like Wells, Volpe, these younger guys, man, I think they're too complacent. Like, I think we spoiled them too much. We really did. Like, dude, you guys barely got your feet wet in the big leagues. You just made it. You still earning your keep. And they act like they can't be replaced, and that's a problem. That is a problem. That's a problem. And I always go back to what Pat Murphy said, the manager for the Brewers. He said, right, he got a bunch of players on his team that they don't know if they're gonna be in the big leagues tomorrow. And he likes it like that. He said he wants them to feel like they might not be in the big leagues tomorrow. Because it makes them play for something. You know, so nobody's safe. That's what he's pretty much saying. Nobody's safe. You could get sent down. And I was like, man, I wish the Yankees were a little more like that. Yeah, man. Cubs swept the Brewers, so now the Brewers forgot how to win. Don't sleep with the Brewers. You know what? You know, there is a thing too, though. Maybe the Brewers peaked a little too early, right? That could happen too. That could happen. But they're a pesky team, man. And even getting swept by the Cubs, they're like a good, still like 6-7 games. I haven't looked at the standings, but they're well above the Cubs. I'm looking at it right now. They're 7 games ahead of the Cubs with the sweep. So that's that. Or it says, you take care. Yeah, take care. I forgot it's so late. It's 1:17 on the East Coast right now. It's 12:17 where I'm at. Take care, Roy. I appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. Lasagna is cooked. He is going to have imaging done tomorrow. Yeah, and that's another thing. He's talking about his elbow is hurting and stuff. Lasagna is done. Jonathan Loaizaga is done. Especially having issues with his elbow or whatever it is. Or even shoulder, man. This guy, he's done. It's a wrap for him. They're gonna shut him down for the rest of the season. And hopefully, I know for sure they're definitely not gonna re-sign him. Not after the performance he's gave us. I want to see them take a series from Boston before I buy back in completely. I feel you, Jay Snow, man, but I'm always in. That's the thing. I'm a hardcore fan. I'm always in. So, yeah. But look, with all that being said, like right now we have a comfortable lead in the wild card, right? Where the chances of us making it to the playoffs are really good. Granted, as a wild card, right? That's not ideal. It's not what you want. But anything can happen. So, Samuel, you talking about this guy? Yeah. Looks pretty good. Austin says, Austin Wells was my guy, but he's been disappointing. I wish he could turn around somehow this year, most likely next year. We'll see. I don't even, man. The thing is, too, we traded a lot of the catchers in our system. So, yeah, he'll probably be here next year. I just wish we didn't have two lefty catchers, right? I wish we had a righty catcher and a lefty catcher. That'll help with the lineups a lot, man. It'll help. He says we might have a shot at the division. The Jays' schedule is harder than ours, and we pay them 3 more times. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's why I said it, but we have to get through this. Look, hopefully we get this game tomorrow. We got to take this game tomorrow, right? Get that out the way. If we can take 3 out of 4 versus Boston, if we could take 3 out of 4, I'm telling you, it's a dog race. All of a sudden, again, it's going to be a dog fight. Because right after that, who we face? Right after that, we got the White Sox. We got Washington and the White Sox. We should be at least, right? At least winning, 7 games? 6 out of those 7 versus Washington and the White Sox. And then all of a sudden, maybe Boston loses a game or 2 and the Blue Jays lose a game or 2. And all of a sudden, we're right there again. We're right there. We're going to see. Yeah, the first 2 weeks of September is going to be real tough. Really tough. Hold on, let me see some. Put it right now. All right. This is September's. Yeah, the first 2 weeks are going to be tough because we got Houston for 3, Toronto for 3, then Detroit, then Boston. But after that, we're good. I think if we could make it to the Toronto series, all right, that's a 3-game series. If we could make it there, 3 games behind, 3 or 4 games most, then it's the division's back on at that point, So hopefully, but we gotta win. We just gotta keep winning. I don't want to look too much into the schedule and everything like that. We just got to keep winning. Because I tell you what, these teams like the Nats, the Orioles, the White Sox, their main, look, they're not playing for anything. They're done. Their main goal is going to be to sabotage the Yankees, right? To screw us over. That's going to be their main goal. So we can't let our foot off the gas, not even versus them. We really can't. And we've seen how these weaker teams for some reason seem to play up against us, and we seem to play it down with them. So TC says he'd rather have Gary Sanchez over Wells. That's crazy. The Yankees literally gave away their best catchers and kept their worst one. Yeah. You're right. And then they traded Jesus Rodriguez too. I feel like that's gonna come and bite us in the ass. Yeah, at least Everson Pereira, at least he's finally getting his shot at the big leagues. Peraza hopefully he gets his shot with the LA Angels. I don't know. Like I'm not a big fan of how we manage our prospects, how we develop prospects. I'm not a big fan of how we not recruit, but scout guys and draft. I'm really not. That's why from top to bottom, this organization needs to be, from top to bottom, the organization needs to be gutted. They really need to start thinking about how they're doing stuff. But it is what it is, right? For now, just focus on this year and hopefully could figure something out. But I tell you what, look, I feel like unless we win the World Series, firing Boone and then it has to be on the table. It's probably not going to be, right? It's not. But if we get in there, let's say we make a wild card and get bounced out right away, yeah, that's unacceptable. Now with a $320 million payroll and the amount of talent we got. Yeah, scouting and drafting is trash. It is. Everything. Look, this whole organization needs to be gutted, top to bottom. The thing is, man, we know that that's not going to happen. So I've just got to hope that we can that the players, right, that we have enough talent on that field that these guys could just freaking start mashing, and just brute force their way into a World Series. And then hopefully, the fundamentals and all of that don't come back to kick us in the ass. He says, beating these bad teams don't do anything for me. Now, if we F around and start beating these good teams is when we get hot enough to make a run. Now, I feel you. And you're right. We got to beat the good teams. We got to beat the good pitchers, too. We got to hit the good pitchers. Because some of these bad teams, when they put their good pitchers against us, we can't do anything. But right now, man, we just got to get the wins, man. We got to beat up. We got to win. We got to beat the bad teams and the good teams. And the Yankees put themselves in this position. They can't let their foot off the gas, not even the slightest bit. And that's their fault, right? That's what happens when you freaking go 2.5 months playing worse than you're the worst team in pretty much in baseball. Let's see. Can you pull up the record against good teams? I could pull it up, man. Let me see. Let me pull this. The stats. Give me a second. I'll get it for you. But yeah. All right. Team. I'm trying to pull it up. Give me a second. I gotta find the split. Right, let's see. TC says, gotta take one game at a time. Just win. That's it. You're right, man. The thing is, too, like, what do you constitute as a good team, too? Like, I think it's more like over 500. Will you consider is that a good team? All right. No, that's not what I'm looking for. The problem is also that Devin Williams has blown like 6-8. It's true, right? The amount of games that Devin Williams alone has costed us, we'd be in first place right now. But the truth could be, the same could be said with Boone. There's a bunch of games that questionable calls, like questionable bullpen moves or questionable non-moves, right? Moves that he didn't make when he should have really, really hurt us. Man, I'm trying to find this damn teams over 500. Yeah, this can't be right. I'm looking for the stats versus teams versus 500, but yeah, I owe you that one. Who asked for that, Jose? Yeah, I owe you that one. I'm looking at some right now, but it don't seem right. Honestly, we handled our business versus division. We're on the driver's seat. Yeah, this team, they like everything. The Yankees put themselves in this spot where they can't mess up, but they can't afford to. Every game is crucial. It seems like too. Like they can't afford to blow a game or make the wrong move or something like that, or make an error that's going to cost them the games. At this point in the season, no, not if they expect to really take a shot at the Blue Jays. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this alone because it's pissing me off. Without Boone and Devin Williams, we'd have 90 wins. It's true, right? It feels like that. It really does. It really, really does. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm gonna play some real quick and I'll be right back in a second.
Bullpen meatballs. Serving them up all 2025 season.
You better like the video, and while you're at it, subscribe to my friend Jason's channel.
The reason your butt has been hurting is because you have YDS, Yankees Derangement Syndrome.
Hey y'all, don't forget, channel members can bring up live player stats.
He says, do I think Bellinger needs to be the top priority in the offseason? I think they should be trying to sign him right now if they can. Here's the thing. It depends on what he wants, right? It depends on what he wants. I love Bellinger. He's probably the second best player, right? Overall, all around, besides Judge on this team. But man, it depends what he wants, It depends what he wants. Because at a certain point, it's like, yeah, that was all AI, man. At a certain point with Bellinger, it's like, even though Kyle Tucker hasn't really been playing that great as of late. Let me pull up his numbers. Yeah, I think they got to get him, but at a certain point, it's not even. Nobody's worth a certain amount of money, man. So how much you willing to give him? That's the thing. You willing to give him $30 million for another 8 years or something like that? If you're willing to do something like that, I feel like that's the kind of money he's going to be looking for. So we'll see. We will see. This dude said, AI Shorty and the Yankee freaking get it. Oh, my goodness, dude. I tell you what, though. Look at Kyle Tucker's numbers, right? And then we'll pull up Cody Bellinger's. Cody Bellinger's looking a lot better than Kyle Tucker right now. A lot better. Cody Bellinger's he's gonna be wanting a lot of money. That's the only thing that worries me. But yeah, he should. He should. The Yankees need to start. They gotta at least try to bring him back, right? Don't lowball him or anything. But if he wants too much, or if another team just freaking blows out the water, like, we're not gonna go crazy for him either. That's my thing. I love the dude. I think he's great. He's perfect as a Yankee. But we can't go crazy into a bidding war with another team for him. Yeah, like if the Mets are, and we're not gonna go crazy like Juan Soto, right? We're not gonna overpay a couple $100 million for Cody Bellinger. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to me. We'll see what the Yankees do, though. We'll see. Really, they could pay them. It's not gonna hurt them, really, because after next season, they got a lot of money coming off the books. They could do it, but is it the right move? Is it worth? If a bunch of teams, let's say the Mets, Yankees, a couple other teams, let's say that we get into a bidding war for this guy. Is it worth overpaying? Extra 50, 100 million or whatever it is, an extra 2 years for him. That's the only thing that I'm worried about. Like, we at the same time, we still got to be responsible. We definitely got to be responsible. All the first place teams are even as well. Just the Brewers, Astros, Jays have like a winning record of above 500. What do I do with my thing? Uh-oh. My monitor turned off up there. Let me see. Yeah. If you're in first place, you definitely have a better record. You have a above 500 record. You know what's the thing? Like the standings right now is tough, right? Because when I look at some of these teams and I look at their wins and stuff, it doesn't really reflect what I think they could do to a team in a playoff series. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to think during the season, there's a lot going on. You're playing different teams at different times, and you might play a team today and they're hot, and then you run into them a month later and they're not so hot, or whatever it is in a series, right? In a 5-game series or 7-game series, a lot of that, all that record stuff and all that doesn't mean nothing. It all comes down to matchups, right? How does this team match up against this team? The pitching. If you got a few starters, you got 3 starters, 4 decent starters, you're in trouble. I don't care what your record is, right? If the team you're facing in a 7-game series has 4 starters that are good, you're in trouble. Bullpen. It's just a lot of stuff like that. I think when it comes to playoffs, right? That's why you have teams that are supposed to be really good and then they get bounced out in the series. It's because they might have the most wins in the regular season, but in a 7-game series or a 5-game series, they don't match up with a specific team that they went up against. They just don't. So it's gonna be interesting. Right now, I'm focused, man. We just gotta keep racking up wins and make it. We gotta make it to the playoffs first. Hopefully, the division. Right. I'll focus on the division first. Try to catch up to the Blue Jays. Try to take the division. That way, we don't have to deal with the wild card because I don't think we have enough firepower. I don't think this team has enough firepower, right, to go through a whole wild card. Let's say we get to wild card and we win that, right? To go through a whole wild card series and then go into a division series, right? At that point, we've already burned through our best starters. Now we're looking at the back end of the rotation. Starting out a 5-game series. It's not what you want, in my opinion. Oh, I see. Yeah. Versus teams above 500 with 500, 32 and 32. I don't know why this thing ain't working right here. Hold on a second. Turn this shit on. All right. There's the Yankees right here. Versus teams that are above 500, 32 and 32. The Blue Jays are 34 and 29. Yeah. The Astros are 34 and 26 versus teams above 500. Yeah. No, you're right, Jose. But you can't really, man, I'm telling you, when it comes to a series, a playoff series, you could all that stuff really doesn't mean nothing anymore. It's who you got healthy and the matchups. That's all you could do. You send me a screenshot. I gotta check my email. I'll check my email. My cousin Bam Bam's in the building. Oh shit. No, I didn't get no email from you, man. Yeah, but look, all in all, like I get why people I get why people are down on this team and stuff, but it ain't over yet. It really ain't over. And we have a good chance of actually coming back in this division and taking it. Now we gotta beat these tougher teams though. Like you guys been saying, we gotta get through Boston, we gotta get through Houston, and we gotta get through Toronto. But they could do it. Oh, I didn't take a screenshot, man. I remember. What did you say again? You made a prediction. Oh yeah, you said the Yankees are gonna come back and we're gonna win the World Series or something like that. Say that I didn't screenshot it, man. Oh crap. Yeah, I know. I didn't get to screenshot. Oh, the division. Jason is now. I'm not a. Look, it could happen, man. We in it. We in it, Lou. We're not out of it. We're in it. But I'll be honest though, is the chances, right? The probability of them doing it is not great. It isn't. But I think that they can do it. They definitely can do it. It's up to them though now. It's up to this team to really dig deep. Like all the bullshit and all this playing around stuff, all these bullshit lineups and punting games, all that stuff is done with. It's done with. Like we can see. I think let me ask you this. If the Yankees somehow came back, right, and retook first place in this division, if they somehow did that, do you like their chance? Do you think that they can possibly make it to a World Series, win a World Series at that point? I don't know. I think that if this team can start, if they could start hitting on if they could start firing on all cylinders, right? I'm talking about the bullpen. We got enough guys in that bullpen that should be way better. Our rotation, we got enough guys in the rotation that it should be better than what we've been playing. Offensively, we got a ton of guys that we should be better. I think if we start firing on all cylinders, right, this team could really be dangerous. It should be on paper. It should be dangerous. That's what gives me hope. That's what makes me feel like, all right, we really haven't got it going all season. Now it could be wrong. Maybe they just regress back and they go face Boston and get swept, and it's like, oh shit, here we go again, right? Same old stuff. But they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to kind of rewrite this season, to kind of change the narrative of the whole season, because this whole season has been a wash up to this point, the way they've played, but they still have a chance to change all that. They do. They really have a chance to change it all and do something special, man. Hopefully, if not, then what are you gonna do, man? Then screw them. Then it's fire Boone. It's fire everybody. You know how it is, Lou. Everybody gotta go. I watched the Tigers kill the Astros the other day. Yeah. This team has enough to make it to the World Series. I mean, on paper, they should. When you look at it, sometimes I look at the roster, I'm like, damn, dude, look at our bullpen. Our bullpen should be way better than what it is. And it's not, you know. When I look at the lineup, look, today they showed they could our bats could really be dangerous. But at the same time, though, we got to do it versus good pitching, too. Because for some reason, you know, we could hit 9 home runs today and face a good pitcher tomorrow and literally get 1 hit, 1 or 2 hits. And I'm like, how do you go from 9 home runs, 20 hits to freaking 1 hit? Never count the Yankees out. And yeah, I'm trying to be optimistic on this team. If not, then it's like, what's the point, man? Right? That's how I feel. What's the point? You can't be optimistic about your own team. I get it, right? It doesn't look great. But shit, man, you could be an Orioles fan right now where you have no hope. You know for a fact you are not playing in October. Or you could be a Rockies fan and it's like, or a White Sox fan, or you see what I'm saying? At least we have a chance. At least. I expect more though, because we are the New York Yankees. I do expect more. I don't expect them to go on 2-month skids like that. Or some of the bullshit decisions that have been made throughout the season and throughout the years, as a matter of fact, I don't agree with. But what are you gonna do, man? It's still our team, right? It's still our team. Some people I don't understand, like I can't do that. I hear some people they'll be like, I'm not watching the Yankees no more. That's it. And I'm like, dude, I mean, even if this team sucked, this team could be literally freaking in last place and I still watch it, dude, because that's just the kind of fan I am. But I get it why some people they just not hardcore like that. They're not gonna deal with it. It's not fun to watch this team when they're not winning, right? So I understand that, but I don't know. Or some people be like, oh, I've had people in my comments, they're like, look at that Yankee. You're supporting their bullshit, right? Because I at times I complain about the organization, some of the decisions they make, some of the things they do, right? And like until you stop buying hats, right? Until you stop buying stuff, you're supporting their bull, and maybe that's true, right? In a sense. But at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm a fan, though. I want to wear a Yankee hat, bro. I can't buy a Yankee hat. If I buy a Yankee hat, I'm freaking supporting the fact that they freaking, have a shitty manager. Like stuff like that, man. I think as fans, we got to chill out and at the same time, support the team. I get it. It's not good. And we could boo our own team, right? When they playing bad like they were, shit, boo them. They need to know. But right now, we're still in it. So let's hope that they can do something with it. Yeah. We haven't beat no best teams this season. Early in the season, we beat a few good teams. But not really. You're right. Look, I'm not arguing with you. You're right. D, what's up, man? Yeah, I'm enjoying. I'm about to go to sleep, man. I didn't realize it's so late. Their longest losing streak this year, I believe, was what, like 6-7 games, something like that. I mean, it does, and even that, it doesn't matter. Like the losing streak and all that. It really, like in 162 games, you got ups and downs and stuff. Look at the Brewers, right? For instance, the Brewers, look how they started the season. Look how they started the season. So Bama said, you need to buy a bootleg. Yeah, buy the bootleg Yankee hat, sister. Look how the Brewers started the season. Look where they at now. It could just, I think it is, there is an element of just being hot at the right time. Like you got to be hot at the right time. It's part of that too. It's also, man, your manager got to make better decisions. And we already know how I feel about that. But at the end of the day, you just never know, right? You never know. If we make it, at least I'm not going to say at least we make it because that's not enough, right? To me. I don't want to make it and get swept. I'll be pissed. But shit, man, if you don't make it, it's even worse. That's how I feel. Some people are like, some people say I'd rather not make it to the playoffs than get swept in the ALCS. And I'm like, I don't know about that. I'd rather make it to the playoffs and at least you have a chance and then you end up getting swept. We're going to see, right? We're going to see. In any case, look, all because I'm being optimistic doesn't mean I'm happy with the way the season went, right? Or is going. Doesn't mean I'm happy with the some of the moves the front office makes and the organization makes. It doesn't mean that, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a Yankees fan. I want them to win. I don't want to be mad at Boone. I don't want to say fire Boone. I don't want to say any of that. I don't want to be mad at Austin Wells. I want him to play well. I want these guys to do good, but if they're not, then you got to call them out. Just how it is. But yeah, man, I'm about to pop out too. Getting tired here. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. It's a late night. Hopefully tomorrow's game won't be this late like this. It's gonna get real good though. The season's about to get really, really good. We're gonna start facing some tougher teams. I'm telling you right now, it's crunch time. It's going down to the wire. And if the Yankees could pull it off, right? If we could get through this Boston series and through these bad teams, the rest of August, if we can clean out the rest of August, these last 2 weeks, then it's gonna be, we have a chance. We have a really good chance. Besides that, I appreciate it, Jose, man. Thank you. Welcome, peace. Lou, we're not beating on terrible team. D, everybody, man. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna get some sleep. I gotta be up early. Again, let's go Yankees, man. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.